Hello traders, in this video I'm going to walk you through how we're going to be using order flow tools in order to identify where we're going to have potentially trapped traders, and we're going to be looking for a market reaction in the opposite direction of those traders that are on the offside. Okay, before we dive in, make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification button so you don't miss any videos. And also, if you want to check out, use code PABT for the best prop firm discounts with all the companies down below. That's going to be a great way to support the channel to keep bringing you all this free content online. Okay, so let's get right into the charts. This is Sierra chart, and we're going to be talking about a setup that presented itself on July 14th. Now, I know obviously I'm just going to go back and do a hindsight analysis of this, but the purpose of the video is to walk you through the thought process and interpret what all the indicators are going to be telling us in order to form a possible trade idea on this. Okay, so specifically, we're going to focus on this pullback area that we had here, and the elements that we're going to be looking at are going to be cumulative volume delta. We're going to be looking at the volume profile for the sessions as well as the delta volume profile for the session. And we're also going to be looking into the footprint chart, which is going to give us x-ray view of the candles so we can see more specifically what is happening there. Okay, but the basic premise of why I want to talk to you about this setup is because this is a very normal occurrence where we have market coming back and continuously retesting a level of support or resistance, and you get a lot of traders, and even myself, sometimes I fall prey to these setups and I get caught off the wrong side. That's why it's very risky to try to preempt breakouts or breakdowns, because a lot of times you're going to get this. You're going to have, this lows, tested, market goes up, comes back very aggressively, and right here, people are market selling, thinking we're going to come make new lows for the session and continue lower. Obviously, that's a possible scenario, but we're going to go over how, using order flow tools, we can identify an area where we're actually going to be looking to fade those impulsive, aggressive traders, and we can position ourselves for a very good risk reward scenario. So I'm going to go into the replay mode, and we're going to start replaying this right around this area and see how this profile is going to be developing. Okay, so here we are in chart replay mode. So this is a 3000 tick chart on ES, and this is the same 3000 tick chart on a footprint. And the way I like to use my footprints is total volumes on the left and delta on the right side of the candlesticks. And all these templates very similar to this. You can check out my website, sierracharttemplates.com, and you can find a lot of preset templates for Sierra chart there. So with this footprint, we're going to use to identify all the deltas and the volumes to see, delta is going to be the difference between aggressive executed buy orders minus executed sell orders. So positive delta means more buying pressure, negative delta more selling pressure. Similarly, on the price chart, I have here, this is the session volume profiles, and I have here a delta profile, which is the same thing as this. This and this are the same thing. I'm just putting it here on the right side so you can look at it a little bit more cleanly, okay? So the area we're going to focus on, if I zoom out, you can see, just for context on the trade, we had opened with a big gap down overnight. Market rallied back, and you can see here we have a resistance area. We broke above, filled the gap here, broke down below. We had some resistance again there, and we broke back above, and now we're retesting this as support. So overall, I want you to keep in mind that this whole area is now a significant support resistance area here that is going to be of interest to us. So let's just grab a rectangle drawing tool, and let's just draw out this zone. Let me make this purple right there. Okay, so this purple zone, we know that is going to be a significant level, just to keep in mind in the context of the video. Okay, and we can see how we have started developing this high volume node, and we're making a nice big edge down at the bottom. Okay, you know that I always like to try to get into trades near the edges of high volume nodes, so in the low volume node areas, which is where we see the most price reversals. So here we have low, we did shoot below this, we came up, and now we're bouncing. So we have a bullish over under pattern here forming at this bottom edge, and I want you to keep special attention to the delta profile around these levels as well, because as we're going to see, as this develops more and more, let me just hit play. I'm playing this at 10 times the normal speed, just so we can obviously, not take too long to go over this. But I want you to pay close attention to the delta volume profile that's developing around this region, because as this keeps retesting and coming back here, you're going to see more and more red delta forming. You can see all the delta here on the right side forming at these levels, and we're going to see how price is just going to keep bouncing and holding above this area that we talked about. Okay, now obviously as the profile develops, you might not get in. Maybe you didn't get this entry, and maybe you didn't get this entry, but I want you to pay attention to the setup that is coming on now. This last test, we're going to have a lot of elements that are going to be lining up in favor of taking a long position, even though it looks very bearish at the moment, and a lot of people are going to get trapped there. You're going to see how we have a lot of things lining up here for a reversal. Okay, so we just made a new high for the session. We just broke the highs, so we're shifting structure up, but now we're going to get a very quick pullback here. And let me take down the speed a little bit, because now we're going to be paying attention. Once we get back around this area, this is where we're going to identify this setup. Okay, so you can see cumulative volume delta is now starting to turn highly negative. We are starting to pull back here. Big impulsive move coming in now. Okay, and now pay special attention once we come here into the purple area that we're talking about, right near the bottom edge of the node here. Note all this aggressive delta selling right at these levels. Okay, and we're gonna now have one more flush and push down into this level here, and you can see low, low. So now when we come back here, there's a lot of aggressive impulse traders looking for a breakdown that are going to be trying to aggressively sell into this level, to attack the session lows, come back, into this daily level, into this naked point of control. So we are coming back again, and start noticing on the footprint charts. Look at all the bottom wicks that we're going to be forming here, how most of the delta near the bottom of these wicks is all red selling delta. Just a lot of aggressive selling. Also, let me pause this. Another thing to note is cumulative delta highly negative, and you can see how these candlesticks were all very aggressive candles closing near the lows, but now these candlesticks are mostly going to start putting in rejection wicks near the bottom as well. Let me zoom in a little bit more so you can see more clearly. You can see we're coming right below VWAP. We're having a couple of retests of VWAP back down. And notice how we're now back above all this negative aggressive delta and the bottom edge of this node. Cumulative volume delta is now starting to turn, and you can see now here's all the elements of this. So we have the retest again into this support zone. We're back above all this negative delta. We have lots of aggressive selling right at the bottom of the candlesticks with some higher volumes coming in here with the purple highlights, as you can see. And we got now cumulative delta divergence, where we have cumulative deltas making lower lows and price is holding here for higher lows. So this is a clear signal of selling pressure that is being absorbed right at this lows over here. Okay, and if I just hit play on this now, you can see that pretty much from this point on, price is not going to get back below all this aggressive delta area, and we are now going to start breaking up and going. Okay, so in this case, the entry, the setup that you could have taken with this is entry right around the bottom edge that we're forming on the node, right around all this negative delta. So pretty much anywhere around this area right here. You could have put a limit order to buy, or you could wait and let all this selling accumulation happen, and as soon as we break off of it and we get back above VWAP and above all this negative selling delta, now you know that clearly this is where you put your stop loss. Okay, so your stop loss, you're just going to put it directly below the low volume node area and below all the aggressive selling area, because this is now a level that you're going to expect to keep getting defended if price would dip back into that area. And if I zoom out a little bit, I'm just going to put this at a higher speed just so we can let it play out a little more. And you can see price comes back one more touch of that aggressive selling area and another rejection. And remember, we are near the lows of the high volume node as well from this session. And then from there, it just keeps going, okay? And you can notice here too, on this pullbacks and breakouts, we're still leaving negative big volume sellings at the bottom of the candlesticks, and price will just keep pushing up, okay? And then from there is just going to keep going, and we're going to make new highs for the session. And now you can see how cumulative delta has gotten back in line with price. Both are now pushing, and both are now going to be making soon higher highs, okay? So that's pretty much it for the video. Hope this has been insightful. Again, this is just taking you through the mindset and the analysis of how I use personally volume profiles and delta with order flow in order to identify potential areas of reversal where we have traders that are getting in at a very disadvantageous position where they're potentially going to be reversed on, and they're going to get underside, and they're going to be forced to close. They're going to get liquidated, and all that reversed pressure, in this case of buying, is going to fuel a strong reversal into the other side, okay? So again, hit that like, remember to subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.